to the Tiny Sponsor track over at Digital Hollywood. My name is Mike Prasad. I am the founder and CEO of Tiny Sponsor, and I'm here to host the panel on how to diversify influencer revenues. I'm trying to help creators understand beyond just sponsorships, beyond product, what they can do to actually generate more income in more different ways and build a business around their creative endeavors. And so we have a really great panel here today. A few people I've had the absolute pleasure of working with. So if everyone can go from the end, starting with Alex over there, and tell us a little bit who you are, whether you're on the creator side, whether you're on the manager or brand side, and just a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Alex Hager. I work with Mike, and I kind of have the lucky opportunity of working on both sides of things. I worked extensively as a creator and an artist. I make music, but over the last few years, I've kind of taken a step back and worked more on the back end side of things and work with creators and finding them deals, negotiating them, and helping creators understand their brand and how to maximize their revenue flows online.
Awesome. Megan?
I'm Megan. I work at Ipsy on the Creator Partnerships team. So what I do is a lot of talent management. We have our in-house creators that I manage, and then finding external talent to promote our products, like the Glam Bag and the Glam Bag Plus, usually on Instagram.
I'm Lisa. I work on the creating end and the brand side. I come from the acting, writing, producing world, and I started a fashion blog, and then I just launched a show called the Fast Life series, which is basically SNL meets Parks and Recreation with bloggers. And so now I'm kind of working on both ends, still doing the blog and the show as well.
Hey, my name is Diego Vargas. I'm also in a little bit of both sides. I'm the CEO of GOAT Marketing, which is an influencer marketing agency. We've worked with a lot of, Fortune 500 companies to SMBs, and I'm also the founder of over 20 of these meme pages you see on Instagram. Some have as much as 15 million followers, and as little as a couple 100,000, with a network of over 50 million myself. So I got to experience how it feels to be, on the back end, building your following as a creator, but also negotiating deals and running a business as like a marketer and CEO.
Hey guys, my name is Kasha. I am the owner of Harlow Casting. We cast all kinds of stuff. This year we did 3 feature films, tons of short films. We did a bunch of films for Hulu and Sundance. We did some digital series for Facebook Watch, for Quibi, which is a new platform that you guys are going to see a lot about soon, along with countless major music videos, commercials, print, blah, 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 everything. In addition to that, I also work as talent, so I'm basically just everywhere. This year, I was on Glow, the new season, and I just wrapped finishing starring in my first movie. Yay! So I do a little bit of literally everything.
Nice. So for the creators, I want to know, every creator has something that makes them unique, a style, type of content, type of things that they cover, expertise. So for the creators, tell us specifically, what are the things you're known for and that you build your content around? Alex, go ahead.
All right, well, all eyes on me, I guess. So I think that finding your brand is really important online because it allows you to determine how you capitalize on that and how you understand who it is that's following you. In finding yourself, you find others that are attracted to you. And for me, starting with my passion was the biggest thing. My goal wasn't how do I get followers online. My goal was I came from a small town of 300 people, and my only way to share my passion of music was to share online, because after the 300 people in my hometown knew it, that was kind of the bar. So when I was 18 years old, I looked for a way to grow that. I looked, how can I take my passion and take that further? So I went to Instagram, I went to YouTube, I went to Facebook. I looked for ways to share my vision online, and that vision all started with music. I've been doing music ever since I was a kid, and after high school, I decided that I wanted to share this with the world and take it a lot more seriously. So it started as just me playing guitar, which evolved into covers, which years down the road, it led to me going to Nashville to record my first album. So Instagram's given me a lot of cool opportunities, and I think I find my uniqueness in celebrating the musicianship that brought me there to begin with.
Well, and so your content, let's just break it up into like categories, right? You have your music.
Yeah.
You have some tech I've seen, fitness. Would that be the 3 things that you mainly focus on?
I would say centralized, I'm founded in the music part of things, but through my life, tech and fitness are things that I've always kind of had revolve around me. My life isn't mutually exclusive in that way where, I mean, I do go to the gym and I do love to read about new cutting edge technology and the way it empowers our lives and connects us. And especially with, I mean, social media, our phones have become such a lifestyle accessory. So I would say that music is foundationally the core part of things, but on my story and occasionally on other feed posts, I find ways to include my other interests as well.
Okay. And Lisa, on your content, you have your personal and you also have the fashion life. So what are the specific areas of focus, not just generally beauty and fashion, but more specifically, what would you say defines your content?
I am a storyteller first and foremost, so everything that I do has just come out of that love of sharing and how do we tell the story better, whether it's an outfit or I do entertaining, on my own blog I do entertaining content, food content, like holiday, home decor. So the show has actually like evolved a little bit of that. We have a lot more of a storyline going on the show, and then when we work with brands, we ask the brands, what is your story? What are you trying to tell? What we had a brand that they're like, we want you to know, we want our people to know our product is a health brand and it's grass fed, and then the same thing with the bloggers that we work with on the show. We find out what their story is, and some of the content actually comes out of the bloggers themselves. So one girl, Elaine, from her blog used to be called I Am Fashion Lane. It's now Elaine Chaya, but she had a campaign going called I Woke Up Like This, and we love what she was doing so much. We're like, can we do an episode about this? So we just brought it into the show. So it's really organic, the process of that.
Okay. Kasha, you have a super unique style. And I've seen it's across all your content, it's across even the shows that you're in. Can you describe what that style is?
Well, if you go to my Instagram, which is at my first name, Kasia, you'll see that my Instagram is literally just like me. Like, I am very specific, as you can tell. I'm a size 12, I'm a curvy girl, and my Instagram is all just like my very colorful, curated life with my modern, pinup kind of style. I'm very over the top, very extra, like this is what you get all the time, pretty much. And I love to showcase that as a curvy woman, you can go out there and you can be super extra and just do your thing and wear whatever you want to wear, and people love it. I have, honestly, like people get so much hate online, but most of my comments are like really positive, and I think my Instagram is just a place that's like very colorful and it's full of love, like not just towards me, but like towards everyone else who is on my page and who's following and commenting. So it's just like a very happy, colorful, sparkly place. It's me.
So each of the creators here, you've highlighted very specific things that are intrinsic to who you are, and that's where the brands come in, and that actually is what specifically creates revenue opportunities, right? It's not just, oh, let me throw some random product on my page, but let's find something that makes unique. For you, it's storytelling. For you, it's going to be music. For you, it's going to be colorful and empowerment. So given the areas of focus and the uniqueness of each of your content, how do you translate that into how you make money? What are the different ways you make money?
Well, on my channel, because I also do, as a creator, I have a different kind of, I post different kind of content. I post a lot of videos that are comedy videos on some of my comedy pages, and then food videos on my food channels. I don't really show my face, and they all have huge followings. But the way that I monetize them, there's two ways. I either directly monetize my audience, which is like posting advertisements by selling ads to a bigger brand who's looking to promote to my audience, or indirectly monetizing my audience, meaning I leverage what I have, I leverage my assets, I leverage the following to then bring opportunities my way, meaning I get to close restaurants on doing their social media marketing, not necessarily posting them on my page. But I got to get that deal because I used and leveraged my food channels and not necessarily selling them an advertisement.
So you have a dual kind of revenue. So on one side,
Yeah.
you have you as the content creator influencer, where you're saying, I can engage in my stream and my content, and there's a paid placement for that. And you also have that as validation for consulting.
Yeah.
Alex, what about you? How do you make money?
So I think Instagram is a market where people should do a lot better job making money, to be honest, because I think there's an ego associated with Instagram where they get sucked into the numbers and they get sucked into the growth, but then they realize that all of this is for nothing and they don't have much to show for it. And they can have millions of followers online, but they can't make their car payment. So I think Instagram has awesome revenue flows, and Diego has a lot of experience with this because I've worked with him in the past with his Instagram pages, and he has a huge network. But I think, first of all, think beyond just the brand deal. The most obvious way to get paid as an influencer online is having brands reach out and work with them on a one-on-one basis and seeing, okay, here's this item or product or service that you offer, and aligning that with my audience. I mean, hopefully it's a proper alignment, and if it is, you can make a good conversion, the brand's happy, and you get your money. However, that is such a specific circumstance and a little too rare for a lot of creators, so they seek other platforms. You've got Tiny Sponsors, Socialix, other capitalization platforms, and what they allow creators to do is sign up on the platform and find opportunities where brands are actively seeking creators to make content and make money on top of that by showcasing their product or service with their audience. The problem with this, once again, though, is some of those platforms don't always work the best. I think Tiny Sponsor has a really unique perspective on things and could soon be leading the race in that department. But more so than that, it's realizing your demographic. I think that's the first way to really properly capitalize on your following, is who is following you, why are they following you, and why do they continue to follow you? When you can understand your target audience, you can understand how to make money. That can be merch sales. If they're that obsessed with you, they think you're funny, create some sort of funny product line that you think they'd relate to and connect to. And then the second would be affiliate sales. And I think that on Instagram is often overlooked. You see affiliate sales like Amazon dominating the YouTube market, but when it comes to Instagram, there's no reason why you couldn't introduce more affiliation with your products with swipe up links or bio clicks through feed posts. What I mean by that is I'm a musician and I'm an endorsed Fender artist. They send me guitars every month and I get to play them and have a blast. But a lot of my fans ask, what guitar do I play? What strings do I use? How do I clean my guitar? And I can include all of those links as an Amazon Marketplace link in my bio, and every time they click on one of the products I use, I get 8% off of each sale. And if you do the math, if I sell 500 guitars in a month through clicks, you're making thousands of dollars every single month by doing absolutely nothing, except just playing the instruments that you love and sharing it online.
So you talked about affiliate, creating a product line, and sponsored content. So 3 different ways to make money as an influencer, as a content creator. Megan, with IPSI and the programs that you run, what are the different ways that you compensate creators and influencers?
I mean, most of what we do is like flat rate marketing, where it's based on their average video views. We do a lot of video promotions, but I'm trying to think if there's other ways that we're compensating people. I feel like for us it really is just traditional influencer marketing for the most part right now. We haven't really introduced an affiliate program because honestly often creators don't want to take part in them, which I think can be solved when you do like a combination of the two, like here's a flat rate and then also here's a certain amount of each subscription you sell or something like that.
So it's a mixture of affiliate, and then you're also doing some like content sponsorship directly?
Yes.
And then when you have them come into your studio, I know that you pay them. Are they paid on are you helping them create the content to post to their feed, or are you also paying them on as a model type basis?
We also do use creators for also, IPSI is a subscription beauty service. I just want to say that in case anyone doesn't know what it is. So there's like collateral in the box that features influencers every month, people who, are diverse looking and people who, aren't necessarily traditional models, but are still, talented and know how to be photographed. And then we also have a studio that we let influencers use for free to shoot content, both for us and for themselves. So that's not really a financial payment, but it is also, a benefit that a lot of people really enjoy making use of because it comes with lights and the cameras and audio and all the things you'll need.
Okay. So let's see, Diego, when you're representing your talent, how are you monetizing them beyond just straight content sponsorship?
So I'm not like a talent manager. I don't really represent talent. I represent my own channels. But
you have a network, right? Tattoo,
yeah,
right?
but that's my own. I own
Got it.
all of the pages, which is weird because usually people own one page and it's themselves and they post videos of themselves. For me, I own over 20 pages and they're different like niched focused pages, and I have a personal brand where I present like my life online. So I don't own a network of other people and represent them. I represent myself. And with our company, we negotiate deals with brands, SMBs to Fortune 500 companies to do influencer marketing campaigns. Because we have so much data on what works with influencers and what doesn't, our team can put together campaigns based on data-driven campaigns for these brands. But yeah, we don't really represent influencers.
So in those deals, right?
Yeah.
Are you doing? Is the basis going to be pure feed integration with content in the feed? Is it affiliate driven? Is it going to be?
It depends on what their goals are. It depends on, like, the way we measure success depends on how, like, what the brand is looking to get out of a campaign.
So give me a few examples of the different goals and some different types of formats that you would use.
Some PPC marketing, people will pay, per clicks, and that's a lot of swipe ups, not necessarily feed posts. Now that we have Black Friday coming up, a lot of people care more about, like, just traffic on their website and not really, because they know what converts, they know what doesn't. So these brands will come to us saying we need to do an influencer marketing campaign for the Black Friday and for Christmas, and their goals might be different than someone who's launching, a product and wants to promote on January because,
So you're basically driving traffic, which is interesting because not many. I think if you look at most influencer deals, a brand's like, I want to drive sales, or I want to get people to know my brand and know my story, where it's narratives like Lisa, when you're Fashion Life, where you're integrating narratives into your content. But in this case, you're saying they just want raw traffic.
Some people do. Some people want brand awareness. I've worked with Burger King who wanted brand awareness because for them it's like they make so much money, all they cared about was the eyeballs. They wanted more people to know about their sale and what they had going on with this Whopper.
So let's break that down. So if you're looking at traffic, right, you're looking at primarily swipe up links. Is that the conversion point?
Yeah.
Okay. Then for branding and narrative, is that mostly feed posts, video, stories?
A little bit of everything, just because it's what's more, we care about, like, buying underpriced attention.
Okay.
So if we know we can get a good deal paying someone to post a Snapchat video, and the views are going to be a lot more, than what we're actually paying for. If we were to go the route of buying posts on Instagram, then we'll go for that. So we just care about, like, where's the underpriced attention here? Right now it's on TikTok. With so much attention being on TikTok, yet a lot of influencers don't know their value, so we can pay a lot less than we would on Instagram. Therefore, we end up getting the brands a higher return on their money. We
So
just care
you're
where the
arbitraging
underpriced
platforms,
attention
which
is
is
at.
super interesting. Because TikTok, as everyone here should know, is this new platform. It's video driven, it's short form, a lot of musical type content, but the traffic on it is so high. One of the limitations on TikTok is that there's limited ways to drive traffic back to a link, to an external link. So how is that beneficial? Is that mostly just brand building and messaging versus conversion and traffic?
A little bit of both.
How do you transfer the traffic back to the brand site?
From TikTok?
Yeah.
I thought somebody asked a question. From TikTok, I mean, it literally depends on the campaign. If people are doing brand awareness and they just care about eyeballs, then the post and how they present themselves on the internet is going to be different than if they were trying to drive direct, traffic to a link or, it literally depends on the campaign and who our brand partner is. Because we wouldn't go for TikTok.
More mentioning the brand versus driving.
Yeah,
a
like
link.
for the most part, we've done a campaign on TikTok, but it was just to do a brand awareness campaign and get eyeballs on a song.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So Lisa, when you're in your content, how are you integrating brands?
How are we what?
How are you integrating brands into your content? And then what's the value that you're selling them on to when you think integrate with your series or your personal content? Like what are you pitching them in terms of your value to them, and then what is an example of implementation of that?
So we're a really brand new model. There really isn't anything that comparable with us, except for potentially like Leaf TV, which Leaf TV was like just more how-to videos, and so but the whole model for us is we're a shoppable series. So we pitch brands or look for brands that are already, like a lot of times I'll just get so many emails in my inbox that are brands that want to work with bloggers. So then my producing partner and I will talk about like what kind of story, how can we integrate this, and we'll pitch them content. So like, for example, we did an episode called Palentine's Day, and we pitched a ton of pet brands and entertaining brands. So we had, we're able to work with like a Prosecco company and then just a bunch of different pet brands, and then we bring influencers with pets into that episode. So we're doing a combination of like sponsored and affiliate links. So we're able to basically, the whole idea is, again, you're supposed to be able to shop the show, so you can buy everything that we're wearing or eating, drinking. We have like an episode about healthy snacks. We have an episode about wine. So we have different formats of, and it's very organic content. So it either comes from like an idea that we have a couple, most of the cast is influencers, but we also have a few actors on the show, and they're playing over-the-top blogger characters that we created for them. So we have a character, Poppy Peterson, who just like does everything wrong and copies everyone. So she's like, anything where she has a lot of anxiety, so we could, are able to use like brands like, CBD or something, like what would calm her down. We did an aromatherapy thing with her. And then we have a character, Giselle Moy, who we haven't aired these episodes yet, but she has her own episodes called Bloggers in Cars with macaroons. So we're able to work with car companies and macaroons, of course, and she brings on guests, the real life bloggers, onto her episodes. So is that answering the question?
So that's interesting, because you're actually building product into your narratives, and it's creating opportunity for brands to represent how their product solves or provides a value or solution to their customers. How much of that is something where the brand comes to you and you say, cool, we'll build this into an existing episode? Or how much of that is a brand comes to you and says, I have this thing, and you build an episode for the brand?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So right now, because we are new, we already shot 20 episodes, but we launched our 4th one today. So we are mostly like we were pitching the brands, and it took a while. I mean, definitely the beginning, people were like, what are you trying to do? Some of the brands, I think, with like food and, again, the pet brands, they kind of got it a little sooner because a lot of those brands are more open, I think, to sort of the comedic aspect we were going for. With the fashion brands, we work with Trina Turk, Kern Elliott, beauty brands as well, and those were a little bit harder. I feel like there's a lot more, I think the fashion and beauty brands are concerned with like brand safety, and they didn't completely get what we were doing at first. They're like, well, are you gonna make fun of our clothes? And we're like, no, not at all. So we had to also match the right bloggers. With Trina Turk, they wanted to approve the list of bloggers that we use. They wanted definitely a certain demographic. And then we had to make those episodes a little bit more, probably like tone down the comedy. We used in some of those episodes only bloggers, and we tried to bring people in with like a lot of personality, and bring fun into the show. Like, well, what's the, for Trina Turk, for example, we talked about special occasion dressing, and it's like, okay, well, what's a funny thing that happened to you at a wedding, or, but we didn't make it like over the top like some of our other episodes.
So exaggerating scenarios and like really punching in on that specific utility of the product.
Yeah, and also, so we're able to like use brands. So right now we are mainly pitching the brands. I think that was the question. I think I went a little off topic, but so mainly we are pitching the brands. But we're able to use, and I think this is going to be going long term, as a blogger and also with the show, working repeatedly with companies. So for example, we worked with Beaming, which is a raw, organic, like food restaurant, and so we were able to incorporate like the company in multiple episodes. So like in our Bloggers in Cars, we have one of the girls like drinking the juice and talking about how she's on a juice cleanse all the time and doesn't eat solid foods after 2 p.m. And then in another episode, you see us eating and serving the product. So we're definitely able to like incorporate it in different ways, from product integration to fully sponsored episodes.
So one interesting thing you said was, there's 2 things actually I think fascinating. Brand safety, something that a lot of, I think, creators don't think about when it comes to pitching and understanding who's a good way, who to work with to make money from, and this idea of recurring sponsorships. So not just a single post, but a multi-post integration series. So question for, let's say Megan. Brand safety. Ipsy is a company, I'm sure, has a lot of standards there that has to be adhered to.
Yes.
And then when you work with creators, are you generally looking for a single engagement, or do you prefer a multi-engagement type scenario?
I'm sorry, what was the last
single? Do you prefer working with creators on a single post, or do you prefer creating an ongoing type partnership?
We definitely prefer an ongoing type thing when it's possible. You know, I'm not in charge of the budgets, but I would say brand safety is super important to us. So when I'm, browsing Instagram looking for people who are a brand fit, sometimes I'll find someone who's great, but they're just, like they're a little too racy, or they've smoked weed on camera or something like that, and we just, aren't able to work with someone who's affiliated themselves with that sort of thing. Sometimes you can work around it if it's just an Instagram story or something, and it'll disappear. But yeah, generally you do, brand safety is really important. It's, something that really matters to us, and it is such a bummer when it, shows up on someone's page and I can't work with them because I really want to. But yeah, overall, we definitely are. Brand safety is a concern, but we're much more concerned with things like, are they on brand for us? Do they align with the types of content that we're posting?
So alignment of the creator with the brand.
Yeah, so like, Ipsy has a certain brand look and feel. If you go to our Instagram, you can see, it's like kind of glossier with more color. And so I have to look for people who kind of align with that. There's lots of very talented makeup artists out there who, do the crazy full glam or like are doing wild art on their faces, but that's just, not really aligned with our brand. And so I have to pass on people like that unless they are able to introduce more content into their feed that, makes sense. And sometimes I'll tell people that. I'm like, listen, you are really great, but you don't really make sense right now. Could you just start integrating things so I can pay you?
Oh, so you actually like guide them into how to.
I'm like, what if you did this? Like.
So, Kasha, you are a casting agent. You also are a creator, and I'm sure there's an overlap between, for you personally and for your clients, how building up their audience has other value besides just on channel. So tell me about that and how that can be benefit.
I have been over here itching because I'm like, there's a whole other thing that you guys haven't even mentioned in terms of revenue. And it's like everyone's talking about like, oh, let's find brands to work with. I'm an influencer. I want to get paid for posts. I'm like, sorry guys, I am the brand. Like literally I am my own brand. And like people that have really dialed into being an influencer, even if you don't have, like say you have someone that has like 300,000 followers, but you have someone that has fewer followers, but like they have a brand. Whereas the person with 300K, like maybe they have posts and they have likes and they have some followers or whatever, but they don't have like a brand. So when you come into the world of like entertainment industry, and the entertainment industry and the internet have collided, and it's all like the Wild West, and we have new media, and we have like all of these online personalities and people with followers, and the entertainment industry is going, okay, how do we take these numbers and make them work for our own projects that are not necessarily like Instagram. They're like things that are on broadcast TV, or it's commercials, or whatever it is. So we're all still figuring this out. Like I said, like this is still the Wild West, but especially when it comes to like, say for instance, we have a TV show that's casting hosts. And there are so many of those shows now, by the way, especially with all these new platforms, which it's crazy how many platforms we have now that have opportunities for on-camera talent, and on-camera talent of all kinds, by the way. So when looking for on-camera talent for these shows, they want people that already have their own brand. So for instance, like a new show is casting, let's say they want some food hosts. They're gonna kind of have like an idea of what kind of food host they want, but they're gonna look online and they're not gonna find like a random person that comes in and auditions and like knows how to cook in front of them. They're gonna find someone who already has this audience and already has a brand of like them as a food host, because they're already doing the work and they've already created an audience that works and that they're getting numbers from and engagement from, and then the client is gonna look at that and be like, oh, all right, so we're gonna take their brand and collab it with our brand, and next thing you know, you have a TV show. Things like that. Or whether it's like a campaign for a beauty brand. I mean, I see like these incredible collaborations with these like amazing, whether you're a makeup artist or maybe not even a makeup artist, just like someone that has like a great style that brands love. And next thing you know, they're on the campaign that's in Sephora or that's like on TV. It's like there are opportunities in that, in creating a brand that are so valuable that like for me, for example, I'm not really like a big like I don't love getting all those kind of like pay to post a picture of a product. I'm not really that good at it. I like my posts to be like very streamlined, very colorful, like it's very me, like I said. I'm more interested in like building myself as this thing that I can work with another brand and have like a TV show. So I think that's super, 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 super important for everyone who's sitting here who's like, hey, you know, I was just hearing a conversation in the back about my agents not sending me out and this and that. Well, guess what, guys? Most of the stuff that is gonna be really big and really important in your life as a talent, it's not necessarily something that you're gonna get from your agent. It's gonna be because you created yourself as a brand and you opened yourself up to these opportunities that are, you know, that are outside of like what the breakdowns are looking for, or what someone's gonna click on. You might get some great jobs from that, but there's a whole nother world that's looking for you, as long as you have something to show them.
So what's interesting about that is that it's not really based on your follower count, your engagement numbers. There's not a key metric. The metric is the qualitative side. Like, who are you? What do you represent? How does that come through? And how are you a unique character that can then be integrated into someone else's campaign and collaborate? And that's kind of like what you were saying about leveraging for consulting. It's validating who you are as someone who's capable of a certain type of thing. How do you measure? So you're talking about qualitative measurement, which is, I think, great. You talked about traffic measurement, PPC-based, like pay-per-click, if you're not familiar with the term, but being paid on the traffic. I'm sure there's content integration metrics. Is it more like, when you're working with a brand, is it like, do you charge them based on how long the piece and how much integration there's in the piece? What's the basis for how you measure and charge for brands within your content? Lisa, sorry.
We're like, we just launched the show, so we're still very new. With our content, you know, it's shot like a TV show, so we have, our expenses are much higher than if we're not doing that. Hey guys, happy Monday, this is what I got at Zara. Like, we're not doing that. And so we shoot multiple episodes in a day. The first 20 episodes we shot, it was a lot. It was a big challenge because we had to convince the bloggers to come on, or influencers, I should say, because some of our some of our talent have only Instagram, or some of them are OG bloggers. We have some people who have been in the business for a really long time. Our cost is a lot higher than so we're it's based on like quality and in addition to like the metrics, and so there's different factors that go into, I think, the cost, and then also again, we are able to use affiliate links, and we're able to have the content be the brands are able to like share the content as well. So
you're giving them licensing rights as well, or is it just reshare? Because it's different.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think, and that's going to be a really big question going forward with like our, we're going to need more legal expertise on that, because that was definitely something that we ran into with some of the brands. Like, just again, as we were going along shooting, there were so many questions that came up. Like, okay, are we allowed to just repost this? And we have to get a lot of permission from different people right now on our team, and a lot of things came up with like signing releases and what the licensing rights will be. But yeah, we are working towards like making all of the episodes after we share them. We definitely want the brands to share them, but it has to be like after we already post it. And then I think going forward, we'll definitely be needing a lot more legal help with certain aspects, because there are so many things that come up. And again, being like what you said, it's the wild, wild west. So you see a lot, especially from like the blogging end. I see so many people I'm in Facebook groups with like thousands of other bloggers, and brands like steal your content, repost it. Girls are like, oh, I'm on the Jake, or I don't want to say that name because I don't know if it's on, I'm on this so-and-so billboard and I didn't get paid for it. I mean, we actually have a girl in our cast who went viral for content and then had like a legal dispute with a brand because they did pay her, but they didn't pay her for what they basically stole her image, and so yeah.
Well, so to kind of summarize some of that, like, I think there's Alex talked about affiliate marketing or affiliate linking for a revenue stream, but there are different ways to make money. The one area we've seen a tiny sponsor is that you have a deliverable around your distribution, which is your audience. How many people do you have? How many people are engaging? What is that conversion rate, right? So the engagement rate and then the click-throughs. And that can lead to performance-based affiliate type roles where you're getting paid on the site traffic or on the sales. And then you also have the value content creation, which is what you were saying, Lisa, with the value of the content. You're doing a high quality content production, you're being creative, you're creating like narratives, and that has value to a brand beyond just being in your stream, because they can take that content, that really great photo, that really colorful post, and put that into their ad campaigns or repost it to their channel. And we've had a lot of brands do that, where they're actually not as concerned about your follower account, but they're saying, who creates good content? Who's going to creatively take our product and put it in a way, or present it in a way that we can as a brand, or maybe is something that we're not creatively able to do, and then they can buy those rights, or they request those licensing rights. And creators can charge more money specifically for that option. And we've seen that where you have a smaller creator who maybe only has a couple thousand followers, but they're charging $100 or more because the brand is able to use that photo elsewhere. So that's one area of income that I think is often overlooked in the value creation by a creator.
Yeah, actually, if I could speak on the qualitative side of things. So I think anybody that's here, if you are looking to be a creator, if you're looking to be an influencer, or you are one and you're looking to maximize those revenue flows, because I mean, ultimately that's why we're here today. And my hope is that if you are in that position, that you can walk away knowing something today that you didn't know yesterday, that you didn't know this morning, and you can make more money and profit more on the market that you've created, the demographic that you've founded, that people have become attracted to you. And I think when you talk about the qualitative measure, I've gotten the chance to meet a lot of people, entrepreneurs, smaller creators, people that travel the world, people that go to events across the world, just varying so much in who they are and what they share online. But I've met people that have just over 10,000 followers that share a very specific, defined subject online that has made them so attractive to those same specific brands, in which they can make a full-time living with a mere 10,000 followers. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not that big of a network. I work with people every day that have over 1 million followers, some of which can't pay their rent. I mentioned it earlier, mocking them, saying they couldn't make their car payment, but I wish that was a joke. There are plenty of creators out there that are so hungry for numbers, and they've done a decent job at attracting those, even high engagement. But their brand is so bland, and they have made such a lack of an attempt to determine where they lie in the market, and such a lack of an attempt to expand their revenue flows, that their only source of income is brands coming to their doorstep. And so they make that 1,000 brand deal once a month, but $1,000 doesn't get you very far in LA. So if you are a creator online, I can't emphasize enough, find your brand and what that is, and specify it and double down on what that is. If you have a passion for cooking, save the coffee posts and selfies and share that passion. Share your love for food, because all of a sudden, food companies are going to be knocking on their door. They want you to make a recipe with their brand new product, their new spice. They want you to come to their restaurant and post about it and get $5,000 to take a photo in front of the restaurant. That's the real money we're talking about, and that's how you diversify your revenue flows online. And the last thing I want to talk about is YouTube, because I think we haven't really touched on that yet. This has mostly been an Instagram discussion. Megan does some awesome work at Ipsy, empowering creators that share their love for makeup and beauty online. And she is a huge piece of that puzzle, but there's also so much more. If you are starting out on YouTube and you want to make money, the instinctive reaction is AdSense. AdSense has been the primary payment platform on YouTube for a while. Basically, anytime you post a video, if YouTube determines that you are eligible for monetization, if you don't have too many curse words or content that they find unfitting, you will get paid for ads on the platform. I would say on average you get about $5,000 or $5 per 1,000 views. That would be great. But that's about your average. On top of that, think about how you can capitalize. If you are a makeup guru, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to share your love of makeup with the world. Starting out, you might not have that many subscribers. You're not going to be getting 50,000 views per video. So if you do the math, even if you were getting 50,000 views per video, based on that calculation of AdSense, you're not going to make that much money. You have to start thinking about outside the box, how are you going to bring that money in? And it all starts with being authentic. It starts with knowing your brand. It starts with knowing who you are and what you want to share with the world. If you have that genuine love for makeup, share your favorite products. Create an Amazon influencer account today, because anytime you include that link in your description of your, let's say you do a tutorial. Here's my everyday beauty look. If you include the 5 products you use for the everyday beauty look in the description of your YouTube video, every sale, you can get 4 to 8%. And not just that, it has a 24-hour tracking link. So not only do you get 4 to 8% off that product if they choose to buy it, you get 4 to 8% off of every single product they buy on Amazon in the next 24 hours. So let's say they click on that because they want to buy lip gloss, but they walk away with a MacBook Pro. You just had a pretty good day. So those are the ways you need to start thinking about diversifying influencer revenues. It starts with identifying your brand, finding the brands that align with you. It could be Ipsy. It starts with selling merch. Create something that creates a fun, relatable environment in what you do. If you do beauty, share your favorite makeup things, like little memes or side jokes. Put it on a t-shirt and sell it. Create that affiliate account, establish those relationships, and start to really find the inner you, because that's where you find the real money.
So well said, I gotta say. And I think there's a lot to distill on that. I think there's this idea of really understanding, not just as an artist or as a creative, but as a business. What is your specific value? What is the thing that people go to you over anyone else, that you're an expert in, that they trust you? And it doesn't have to be everyone, it just has to be the right people, the right niche. It could be 5,000 people, and maybe you're an expert on high-end watches. You can be super rich off of that alone. So the numbers don't matter as much as the quality and the specific, precise context of what you offer. And it's kind of like buying anything else. If you think about any other product, why do you choose a hairdresser, or why you buy a specific brand of makeup or a specific technology product? It's because you go into that for what makes that specific item different. And once you know that, I think the overwhelming message here is there's many ways to make money. That could be through affiliate, it could be through narrative engagement, it could be through posts, it could be through all these different things. But all of the things that make you money are things that go back to what makes you specifically an expert or a high-value, unique person in a specific area. If you build that audience, you're able to monetize it. And I think there's a lot of case studies where we've seen that. We had one food influencer who sold $20,000 in tickets to a dinner with 2 posts in 2 days. And they had a distribution of under 5,000 total. But it was super targeted, super precise, and they got paid a lot of money on that. So if you know what you're doing, you know what you create, and you know the platforms you're on. You mentioned YouTube as this very specific, different type of mechanism to make money versus on Instagram and versus in like looking at talent. You can figure out your own way and define your own products and services that you can build around who you are and what you do. So thank you to the panel. I want to leave like a minute or two for just 2 or 3 questions if we can fit it in. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand.
I'm interested in Diego and how you decide when you're going to separate your brand and stuff like that. I have a travel brand that does quite well. I've got a TV series, and like on Instagram, everyone just loves our pictures of like exotic places with vast expanses and stuff like that. But food's a big part of it, and actually food performs okay, but it seems like it should be a different brand, as maybe since it's more an outdoor brand. Like when we go to cities. Like, that's not our following. What would you do in that situation? Or maybe Alex wants to do that as well.
I would create a food channel for that, and then every time you post some food-related travel pictures on your travel channel, make sure to tag and like shout yourself out and let the people know for more food content, right? Because that's a little tease for the ones who do love food. For more food content, they can follow your food page, and then make that relevant to only food. You want to really like be niched focused on your channels, because if you try to target everyone, you end up catching no one. So
I would say the same exact thing, to be honest, to a T. I mean, Diego definitely has the numbers and the experience to back up that exact thing you're talking about, but I think brand identity is so, like, people do not take it seriously enough. diversify as much as you can to make your brand as identifiable as it can be. And I think do that and cross-post. Cross-post those 2 accounts and you're gonna have a really great environment.
How do you maintain that? Like, I know you have a staff, but I mean, it's like, I mean, I have a staff too, but we're creating TV. So it's hard. It's like, you know, I have one of my production assistants that does a couple hours a day in addition to what I do, which is a couple hours a day.
Well, for content, like I mean, most creators, if they really define what they're doing, there's a relative cadence to that, and it fits in a very specific post type, and they basically build a calendar out, and then you can prep a lot of that content ahead of time, and then still be responsive to new things. We have to wrap up because we got to reset for the next panel. So thank you to everyone for coming. Thank you to all the panelists. If you have any questions, they'll be available outside in the hallway as soon as we get off stage. Thank you so much.